The generous Tailor and the guardian elephant. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a kind-hearted tailor named Tom. Tom possessed a heart full of generosity and a spirit that was always ready to help others. He was a poor man. He struggled to make ends meet. There was not much demand for his sewing and tailoring services in the village in which he lived. Tom's shop was modest, and he had only a few customers who would occasionally come to him for clothing repairs or alterations. Tom's income was very limited, barely enough to cover his basic needs. He lived a simple life, with just enough to eat and a small roof over his head. He didn't have any extra money to spare, and luxuries were something he could only dream of. Every day, Tom would sit at his sewing machine, tirelessly working on the clothes of the villagers. He would mend torn garments, sew buttons, and make alterations, trying to make the best of his skills. But despite his hard work, he struggled to earn a decent living. The meager amount he earned was barely enough to put food on the table. However, despite his own struggles, Tom's generous nature remained unwavering. Even in his own difficult circumstances, he found it in his heart to share the little he had with others. One sunny morning, as he sat at his sewing machine, he heard a loud trumpet sound coming from afar. Curious, he looked up and saw a majestic elephant walking down the dusty road. The elephant was enormous, with a long trunk and big, gentle eyes. Tom couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder as he watched the magnificent creature approaching. The elephant stopped in front of Tom's shop, and to Tom's surprise, it stretched out its trunk towards him. Tom reached into his pocket and pulled out a handful of candies he had saved for himself as a small treat. He offered them to the elephant, who gracefully took the sweets with its trunk and happily munched on them. From that day on, whenever the elephant passed by Tom's shop, it would stop and extend its trunk, waiting for a sweet treat. Tom always had a stash of candies prepared, ready to give to his new friend. The elephant would gobble them up, its eyes shining with joy and gratitude. Word about the kind tailor who shared sweets with the elephant quickly spread throughout the village. Children and adults alike would gather by Tom's shop, waiting for the elephant's daily visit. Tom's little shop became a place of joy and laughter as people eagerly awaited the arrival of their gentle giant friend. One day, as Tom sat at his sewing machine, a rich and arrogant customer walked into his small shop. The customer was known for his haughty demeanor and demanding nature. He treated Tom with disrespect, belittling his skills and complaining about every tiny imperfection in the clothes Tom had made for him. Tom, always patient and polite, tried his best to appease the customer. He listened to his complaints and offered to fix any issues free of charge. However, the customer was relentless in his criticism, using his wealth and social status to belittle Tom further. As the customer's insults grew more hurtful, Tom's spirit started to waver. He felt a deep sadness and frustration, unable to understand why someone would treat him with such disdain. The tears welled up in his eyes as he struggled to maintain his composure. But just as the rich customer continued his tirade, a familiar sound resonated outside the shop. It was the trumpet of the gentle elephant that had become Tom's friend. Sensing Tom's distress, the elephant had arrived, bringing comfort and support. The elephant gently pushed the shop door open with its massive head and calmly walked towards the scene. The arrogant customer turned his gaze toward the unexpected visitor, momentarily taken aback by the majestic creature's presence. Without warning, the elephant raised its trunk and, with precision, sprayed a powerful stream of water towards the arrogant customer. The water hit him, drenching him from head to toe. The customer stumbled backward, shocked and humiliated by the unexpected shower. The villagers who had gathered outside the shop burst into laughter at the scene. The arrogant customer, now soaked and embarrassed, quickly retreated, his ego deflated by the elephant's intervention. Tom, who had been standing in awe of the elephant's actions, couldn't help but smile. He felt a surge of gratitude towards his gentle friend, who had come to his aid when he needed it the most. The elephant's act of protection had not only defended Tom against mistreatment, but also restored his self-worth. From that day forward, that arrogant customer never bothered Tom again. The villagers, inspired by the elephant's defense of their beloved Tailor, rallied around him, bringing him more customers and support. Tom's business began to thrive, and he no longer had to face the cruelty of individuals like the arrogant customer. The fame and fortune that came his way did not change Tom. He remained humble and continued to give candies to the elephant, who had become a symbol of friendship and unity in the village. The sweets were a reminder of the power of kindness and how a simple act could bring people together. As for the elephant, it continued to visit Tom's shop, and their bond grew even stronger. The villagers, touched by the elephant's loyalty and protective nature, regarded it as a symbol of justice and friendship. And so, the poor Tailor and the passerby elephant became the embodiment of resilience and the triumph of kindness over arrogance, forever celebrated in the hearts and minds of the village's inhabitants.